for the first time this season, the drivers looking at a blue sky for round 3 of the BRDC Championship at Brands Hatch. At pole position, car 7, the red and white car of Aaron Stroud, just 0.125 of a second ahead of second on the grid, Richard Keane, in the blue and white car, car 9, and third on the grid actually was Matt Scheuer, just 0.15 seconds away from pole. So the top 3 covered by 0.15 of a second, and in 4th place Chris Ware, 3/10 further back in the white banana car, car 14. So the cars and drivers all basking in the sunshine there in the pit lane, waiting to go out onto the grid. We've gone through the front of the grid for Class A. For Class B, there's used cars. Pole position, Michael Moyers in car 25, and Michael scored a 52.945. Second on the grid, Jonathan Baker, 53.653, so 7/10 away from pole position for him, but only just pipping out Alex Goulden in 3rd position in car 21, who is just 0.08 of a second away from Baker's time. So the cars now rolled out and lining up on the grid, ready for the start. Engine revs rise, clutches up to the biting point. Is Aaron Stroud going to get away from pole position? Lights turn to green, away they go. That looks like a good start from Aaron Stroud. Richard Keane desperately trying to get inside him as they approach Paddock Hill Bend, but it's a clean start at the front, and I suspect they'll go Paddock Hill Bend in that order. Aaron Stroud followed by Richard Keane, followed by Matt Scheuer. Up the hill into Druids, Aaron Stroud already with quite a healthy lead as Keane defends his position from Matt Scheuer, and 3 abreast there round the hairpin and running wide, kicking up the gravel as they go round was one of the midfield runners. Didn't quite catch the car number, but down through Graham Hill Bend on lap 1. Aaron Stroud with 2 car lengths already ahead of Richard Keane, with Matt Scheuer with the yellow helmet swimming around in his mirrors, and side by side there I think that was Alex Waters further back in the field, trying to move up position into clearways, and down the hill they stream, full throttle as they go out onto the pit straight there. That's class leader Michael Moyers leading the Zeus class by 2 or 3 car lengths there from Jonathan Baker, I think, as they come down the pit straight towards Paddock Hill Bend, side by side. Oh, and the nose cone flies off. That's Chris Ware's banana car. The nose cone flies off as he got far too close to, I think that was Carl Moon in car 3, who gave a very friendly tap up the rear, fighting for position into Paddock Hill Bend, and Chris trying to go up the inside a bit late really, and as he braked, Carl Moon just got caught by Chris Ware from behind. But no harm done, Chris continues, so no damage done to the car fundamentally, although it's not looking so pretty now anymore, and perhaps not quite such the aerodynamic shape that Van Dieven intended when they built the cars in the first place. So on to the next lap. Race leader Aaron Stroud needs to get his head down, because the guys behind him will not just let him drive away from them. Remember, in qualifying, these 3 were split by less than 0.2 of a second. So I'm sure Aaron Stroud isn't going to have an easy time of it at the front. He needs to get his head down and bang in those qualifying lap times that he's capable of. Chris Ware continuing there, and as you can see, Richard Keane's actually caught up there in 2nd place to Aaron Stroud, and Matt Scheuer now being dropped a little bit by Richard Keane, and that's car 10. I think that must be Simon Johnson looking to move up a place there, and Aaron Stroud's definitely been caught, hasn't he? That's Richard Keane now just a car length away, and Richard's pulled away a bit from Matt Scheuer, who in turn is 6 or 7 car lengths clear of Andrew Bentley. Now Scheuer and Bentley, interestingly enough, 2 drivers who've won drives in the BRDC Championship. Andrew Bentley this year, who's in 4th position at the moment, racing for free, essentially, having won a scholarship competition over the winter with Silverstone. And in last year's championship, Matt Scheuer, who's currently running 3rd, was the scholarship winner. So he had a free season of racing courtesy of the BRDC and the Silverstone Racing School last year, and he's come back to do the championship again with every intention of winning it. But he's not having his own way, is he, at the moment? Aaron Stroud leading the race. Aaron again, in fact the top 3 drivers, it must be said, coming here with some car racing experience under their belt already, and currently Aaron Stroud managing to keep Richard Keane behind, but I'm absolutely certain Richard's not going to settle for 2nd. All these front-running drivers reasonably fresh out of the karting scene. There's another one, Carl Moon, very promising young karter, currently leading that scholarship winner Andrew Bentley from Chris Ware there with the damaged nose cone. So Carl Moon doing very well at the moment to keep the scholarship winner behind him. Down the pit straight they go towards the fabulous Paddock Hill bend. Difficult to see from the camera shots just how steep the hill is as the drivers go into the apex there, and the car goes light as it goes over the crest, and then there's a great big dip at the bottom. A real roller coaster ride of a circuit round Brands Hatch there. And now Richard Keane all over the gearbox of Aaron Stroud, who's using all of the road on the way out of the hill. Oh, and there's a spin there. That's one of the Zeus drivers in Class B. That's Joanne Smith, just pushing too hard perhaps at clearways and spinning out. Fortunately rolling off the circuit out of the way. So back to the race leaders, who are now approaching that part of the circuit, and Aaron Stroud being put under pressure by Richard Keane. The yellow flag's being pulled in there, I see. So he wouldn't have been able to overtake even if there was an opportunity on the way into clearways. And in fact, Aaron Stroud's just broken that toe a little bit as they go down the pit straight. But as I said earlier, it was obvious to me that Aaron Stroud needed to get his head down, because Richard Keane's determined to win this race. He's had a bit of bad luck at the beginning of the season, got tapped off the circuit in the previous race at Silverstone, and there's poor old Joanne Smith. That's a long walk back to the pit lane for her, undertaking her first race at Brands Hatch actually. Oh, and out the inside there, Chris Ware desperately trying to put a move on the scholarship winner Andrew Bentley, and similarly Richard Keane. Is he close enough to have a go into Surtees? I don't think so. That's not really an overtaking spot, but the next bit is into clearways. Oh, a spin there. That's car 15 and Druids at the hairpin. That's Sam Mayer-Loughnane just pushing a bit too hard, and unfortunately those rear wheels spinning in the gravel. He's not going anywhere, but there's back to the leaders. Richard Keane swimming around all over the back end of Aaron Stroud, down the inside. He's having a look up the hill into Druids. They're side by side as they approach a back marker in the Zeus class. Oh, and he makes it stick. The overtaking manoeuvre is done by Richard Keane on race leader Aaron Stroud, taking advantage perhaps of a moment of hesitation there as they caught up with a back marker from the Class B category. And now Richard Keane ahead of Aaron Stroud. Has Aaron Stroud got the ammunition to have a go back at him? And this is a cracking race, isn't it, for these guys in these Formula Ford cars? Exactly the sort of racing we want to see, and a fabulous driver's circuit, it must be said, at Brands Hatch. Aaron Stroud in the Alpine Stars car with his head down. Can he get back past Richard Keane? He's close enough to pick up a toe as they go down the pit straight. He's pulled out a bit early, if you ask me. Not really managing to take advantage of the hole in the air in front of him. And in fact, Richard Keane's just pulled away a little bit there as they get to the end of the straight, and giving himself a small comfort zone. Interestingly, Matt Scheuer there in third place. Oh, red flags out. Red flags. There must be a car stranded somewhere, I would imagine. Indeed it is. It's Sam Mayer-Loughnane's car. We saw that earlier. Stuck right on the edge of the circuit there at Druids, and I think the officials deciding that it's just a bit too exposed. If somebody else went off the circuit at the same point,